this is my Defender. I have had it since 2015. It's been on the road since 2018. And I thought it was about time to tell my story about my Defender. If you have been following along Land Rover Drive, you know that we are overlanders first and offroaders second. So when I was looking for an overland rig, the choice was easy.
Don't you worry, I'm fine and I got nobody to blame. Do not bother, I know that it is hard to understand. I know I was born to do this. All eyes on me, all eyes on me. I said I'm getting through this. Wait for me, please. Wait for me, please.
So the main reason for getting the Defender was so I could have a designated overland rig, which means I can pack it up during the week and have it ready for the weekend. There's nothing like setting off on a Friday after work with your best friends. We really like going overlanding, but we also do like to go off-roading, especially in the snow. And the Defender really holds its own, both in the summer and during winter.
Don't you worry, I know it is too little too late. Everything is upside down and strange. But you are my ground tonight. If we stay together we will be alright. You need to move closer, dear. Destiny is all that we need to fear.
So all the things that I've done to the Defender has been maintenance and repairs needed to get it through the MOT, and also before trip checks. There haven't been any upgrades, just things needed to be done to keep it on the road, keep it safe, and also keep it fun to drive. You don't want to set off on a trip not sure of how it's going to be, if it's going to break down. Yeah. So let's see what I've done so far in this short sum up. After fixing all the MOT failures, I went back for a recheck and finally the Defender was approved. Before we set off on the first trip, I wanted to do a full oil service because I didn't know the state of the oil. So the Defender was ready for its first trip. But on the first track in the off-road area, the steering started making noise. And it turned out that the steering leak was bigger than I thought. But after refilling, the steering held through the whole trip and back home. The Defender was holding up and we went on multiple winter trips. After the last winter trip, I have noticed a major leak from the engine compartment. I guess it was the steering, but I had to check it out to be sure. So I've been cleaning the steering pump and the hoses that goes from it into the steering box. And after I clean it, you can see on the pump itself, see there. So after I clean it and dried it up, the oil is leaking from the seal on the steering pump. So I decided to change out the steering pump and also do the piping. So I changed out the pipe from the reservoir to the steering pump and from the steering pump to the steering box. Since you have to take the belt off, I ordered a new belt along with the steering pump. So far, I haven't done any upgrades to the Defender, only maintenance that needed done. But that's about to change. I'm going to get a winch bumper and a winch. I'm also going to remove the back seats and also make a place to sleep. And try to build something that is more permanent, where I can keep all my stuff, so I don't have to use the boxes all the time. So the boxes have been working great, but I think it's time to go to the next step and start building my Overland rig. Before I can go on the next trip, I also need to fix my exhaust manifold, which has bent. I also need to fix the rear exhaust mount on the rear crossmember. So how do you know that your exhaust manifold has bent? You will hear a loud whistling noise from the engine bay. It's the exhaust fumes escaping between the engine and exhaust manifold. So as you can see, the rear crossmember is getting pretty bad. But this is the good side. And this is the bad side. So you can see that the exhaust mount has broken off and it almost rusted through all the way. So this is something I need to fix before the fall and before its next MOT. So there you have it, my Defender story. Do you have a Defender story? Be sure to write it in a comment down below. I will be eager to read it. I try to answer all your comments when I get the time. Also, if you have tips or tricks or other upgrades you think I should do before the next trip, write it in a comment down below. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one.